Welcome back to the weekly Schmoedown cult meetings. I am your leader this evening, and we are here to talk about the matches that were and the brackets that will be. We have no names here, because the only names we need are those in the Schmoedown. Imagine if we did that. That would be a crazy person thing. Hi, I'm Matt Kearns. Welcome back to the Schmoedown Reactor Summit. I am your host. I even listened to myself. We're here today. We're talking about all the matches that were and everything that's going to be happening in the future of the singles bracket, because most of what we're doing today is breaking down the brackets, but I can't do that alone because, as viewers have told me, when I do things on my own at Take 3, like in life, no one cares. So I have the old faithful Malcolm. How you doing, Malcolm?
Um, Pretty good. And brackets are fun.
Yeah, I'm sure brackets are fun to you. We also have Doug. How you doing today, Doug?
Man, I'm here. I'm ready to go over some brackets and have fun.
I'm here. Doug.
What do you want me to
2019.
Okay, 2019.
Malcolm, I blame you
Chalky
for all
Boys.
this kid does. You're the one who wanted him on. I wanted Dagnino, but Malcolm was like, oh, Doug. All right. We also have the Shadow, who will speak from time to time. Hello, Shadow. Thank you for joining us. All right. Well, let's get this started. Cool guy says Team Kearns. Cool guy. Smart man. All right, so let's get this started. The first match we had was Inner Geekdom. We had Jared Habon versus Chandru. I'm not even going to try and pronounce your last name. So this was a pretty simple match. Habon, tough round 1 and 3. Okay, round 2, but Chandru was just more dominant throughout the game. He wins. He's going to be taking on Brandon Hannah. Malcolm, what did you think about this match, and what do you think about the future matchup of Chandru versus Hannah?
I think the match was pretty solid. I mean, like you could tell that like Habon has been out of the game for a while because he missed a to miss, but I think even he kind of realised that as well. But ultimately, it's good to have Jared back, and with the matchup against Brandon and Chandru, I know Chandru just wants blood and wants to prove they can beat Hannah, but I think Hannah will take it out.
All right, Doug, what did you think about this matchup?
Ring rust is a thing, guys. No, he just had an off game. I like Habon. I think Habon's a really good player when he has the chance to study and do what he's supposed to. But as everybody has said, he was getting ready for a wedding, so I not think you make excuses for him. But yeah, that's tough and tough to study. Chandru did a great job. He was a more dominant player. But when it comes down to when it comes down to the match that's coming up, Hannah versus Chandru, I think Hannah's gonna pull it out. I think Hannah's gonna pull it out. So
you can tell when I think something is funny, but I'm not gonna laugh on the Schmoedown when I do my De Niro face. You guys will see that many times in brackets where I'm like, because I love how Doug was like, I mean, he was playing a wedding. No, I'm not making excuses for him. I'm not making an excuse for him. Listen, Jared, I talked about this last week. Yeah, things happen so fast in a week. I think Jared is someone who has a lot of knowledge just on his own. I think if he just puts a little bit just studying time in there, I think he could definitely be a dominant player. I think this is just the case of someone who is playing the league, has been playing recently, versus someone who hasn't played since last season coming in. Hannah versus Chandru, I think Hannah's got this. I think Hannah's really kind of taken a note out of the books of like Kaunowski and Smets, and is really sort of putting the time and the effort in, and I think it's gonna show. And I don't think Chandru isn't. I just think, I don't know. I just think Brandon's a little bit better wound. I do think it's going to be a really, really great match. And we had a Grandpa Roca always watching us. We did have a cutscene, however, which is Brendan Hanna's joining the family. We see Burnett talking to someone, we don't know who it is. He pushes the contract over. Hannah signs it, and welcome to the family. So we just last week talked about the fact that Brandon Hanna agreed to join the Five Horsemen. So what do we think this is? Doug, I'm going to go to you first. Is Hannah really turning his back on the Five Horsemen? Is this a sleeper agent kind of like, we're going to send Hannah in to just destroy the family from the inside, or something completely different?
Yeah. So Tin had a theory all in there, right? Double agent, if you will. I don't know. I mean, it depends on how the contract that Burnett made him sign, and if he's as thorough as Thad was when he was signing his contracts. I don't know. It's a weird cutscene. For me, it's a little weird. You're saying you're with one faction, then you're with another faction. Are you even going to stay with that faction either, or what's the case? I just think it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, definitely. Malcolm, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, this is one I really don't know what to think because when we saw him join the Horsemen, it was like there was no contract signed, but in this case there was a contract. So I really don't know. Because I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be a case of he's going to be destroying the faction from the inside by the looks of it. Or it could be something entirely different that may be connected to another cutscene we've still got to talk about.
Yeah, I think this could be interesting. I think this is Brandon really playing the field. And I think it's very interesting with how they chose to show him joining each faction. When they joined the Five Horsemen, it was a real classic handshake deal. Really just went, shook hands and they Five Horsemen. Whereas here, it's the contracts, and then they do the handshake deal. I'm going to make a reference to one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies, which is Jerry Maguire, where something very similar happens. If you remember in that movie, there is the new rookie college football star who's going to be a #1 draft pick. His dad gives Jerry a handshake deal. He doesn't write a contract down or anything. He says, "My word is strong as oak," and Jerry believes him, and he goes to New York. And then when he's in New York, he finds out that the kid's dad signed a contract with another agent. And Jerry has this great moment where he's like, do you remember when you said your word is oak? I'm still really choked up about that. I feel like that could be a situation here. I feel like we're going to get that moment, and Roka's going to be Tom Cruise. Words I never thought I would ever say in my life, but I am saying them right now. I don't know. It's interesting to see the factions sort of grow, and then sort of the weird things we can see happen with them. I'm fascinated to see how the storyline plays out, and if it has, like Malcolm said, if it has any relation to anything that we'll be talking about in just a little bit. So we move on to Ben Bateman versus Mike Kalinowski. We start with a cutscene, which is Robert Meyer Burnett shows Roxy what he calls the nuke. And Roxy is kind of because first she brings up the fact that in his time as commissioner, he hasn't really done anything huge like we thought he was going to do. We thought he was going to do something crazy, and he really hasn't. And then he shows her the nuke. And when he walks away, she's kind of like, Harloff's not going to take it, but we're going to talk about saving that discussion about what the nuke is for the final cutscene. Let's just move into Bateman versus Mike. I thought this was a great match. Of course, Mike Kalinowski walked away with the win on this one. Ben he just had a tough match. You could tell from the post matches how rough this loss was. I think Ben can definitely turn this into. He could definitely turn this loss into just momentum for the singles tournament. Malcolm, by process of elimination, since Abe doesn't want to talk, what are your thoughts on Bateman versus Kalinowski?
But yeah,
What?
no, I thought this was a good match. It just sort of showed like Mike's dominance and that, like, not to say that Ben's not good. He Ben did really good. Just Mike was just that little bit better, as the way the match goes. And I'm sure people out there that's going to say, "Oh yeah, it's a horseman curse. Ben's not going to win another match." I think the curse is bollocks myself, but
Oh my god, watch your fucking language, Malcolm. Oh, really? Really, Malcolm? That's what you think? Doug, sometimes I think that you're a well-spoken, smart person. We'll see how that ends when we get to the bracket. But right now, what are your thoughts on Bateman versus Kalinowski?
I actually think it's a really good match. It definitely came down to the third round, without a doubt, and I think both competitors brought their A game. It just wasn't. It wasn't there all the way for Ben, and which sucks because I really actually had Ben winning this match. Mike was just too much on a hot streak and was there to play the entire game. But no, I think Ben's gonna come back and do something. I definitely didn't say Mike was too
really?
much.
Really?
I definitely didn't say...
Fascinating, Doug. Now, Abe, you're a smart, well-spoken individual. What did you think about this match?
You know, Matthew, I was in Riverside when this match was released, and I only watched the last round.
Okay. What did you think of the last round?
Just kidding. I rewatched it. I think this was a great match. You always like to see two passionate players go at it, and you can see, as you say in the post-match interview, how one was hurt and one was he was affected by it. I don't think Ben has ever win a big singles match. He has won some against some big competitors, but when he's on the spot of going to number one contender match or anything, I don't recall him going to anywhere in singles division. He has never been to a number one contender match.
I don't think so.
No, he has not. So I think if he wants a belt, I think it's the singles one. You know him better than me, so he wants a belt. But I think if any competitor that competes in the Schmoedown will prefer the singles one because it shows by yourself you can carry on yourself, and it's just you can show a lot more. You're the face of the league if you win the singles division. So, Christian Harloff said it himself. So, this was a great match, and that's it.
Yeah, this was a hard one. You're watching two of your favorites fight. I know I made jokes about it. I did actually have Bateman winning this match before. I thought Mike's always liked singles, but I just thought he was a little bit too spread thin, whereas I thought Bateman, considering the fact that Who's the Boss hasn't had any appearance whatsoever, I think, since Chicago, that I thought he would have put. That is true. I thought that it just sucks. It really does. I'm happy for Mike. It's one of those situations where it's I'm really happy Mike won, but it also sucks that Ben had to lose in the process because you could just see in that post-match interview how, and I think it comes down to what Abe said. I think it's the fact that winning teams intergate some Star Wars, man. I really don't like it. Winning the singles belt, you do become the face of the league, like no other player. The Shire Wolves are faces of the league, but not Riley was in 2014 and early 2016, not like Merle was, not like Roca or like the singles belt. There's something about how much there is to study for, how many great competitors are in that league to be the top tier. Which, if you are holding the belt, you are top tier, and to do it on your own. With teams, it is a dual sport, and I'm not taking away from teams, but like it is. There's something about it. I think Bateman just wants that because I think Bateman is someone who puts a lot of time into this, and I think winning that belt to him, even if he lost it, even if he didn't defend it, I think for him it would be like he's proven that all the work is paid off. I still think that eventually he's gonna. I feel like even if it's not in the tournament this year, if it's next season, whatever, I feel like Bateman's going to be the singles champ at one point. But we get a shocking thing, which is Mike going to immediately play Jeff Snyder in the number one contenders match. Get into that match. Mike's kind of struggling through it. Round 3 does not go in his favor, and Jeff wins the match. This was a tough one to watch. I think Jeff Snyder is a great competitor. I think this win shows he's definitely improved himself from the beginning of this season. It really sucked to have to watch your favorite win and then immediately lose. I don't want to spend like a super long time. I wasn't a fan of how Jeff handled the Flash Gordon question. I think it was clear that Ellis and Harloff weren't accepting his answer as it was, so I thought Jeff sort of chiming in was unnecessary. And again, people have sort of, I'm not sure if they compare it, but it's kind of like in the Lions Den Charwolf match when there was the Charlie's Angels question. And Clark jumped when Tom answered the question Charlie's Angels, and Harloff said final answer because Charlie's Angels is a movie and there were more, that I'm fine with. But I thought in this case, it was clear the table wasn't accepting his answer. I thought Jeff, and then also Jeff doing the thing, which I don't like when competitors do, when they're like, nope, you're wrong. It's like, dude, let the table do that. That's just my own personal, and again, I get it. Jeff is a heel. I am a huge fan of Flash Gordon. You shut your mouth. I love Flash Gordon. I talked with Abe about this. I'm going to go to Abe first because Abe, I know, is a huge Jeff Snyder fan. He did not agree with me about this match. That's why I'm going to go with him first. What did you think about this match?
Look,
and more importantly, can Jeff beat Paul in New York?
Look, Jeff is one of my favorites. Since he entered the league and faced Humberto Gonzalez, who's one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
that's a throwback.
Yeah,
That's
but like,
throwback.
I think Jeff has something that not a lot of people have. He plays really aggressively, and it was shown in that moment. I don't think competitors should like interfere in the decisions about questions or anything during the match. Not even like they shouldn't even consider their input, no matter like how experienced you are, because you're affected by the decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just think it was Jeff being Jeff, and and like he was playing like that. Mike said something. It seemed like for me, like when I watch it, like when I rewatch it, I didn't watch it live. It seemed like Mike has like lucky censored it, and like Jeff John said, no, this is wrong, because sometimes the judges hesitate on giving like those. It's like the Leonardo DiCaprio and What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a similar situation, and it went a different way with because.
Well, with this one, I think it was the fact of what he was doing was he was singing the song to the movie. His answer was Sam Jones, which he did, which I think we've seen this before in the Schmoedown. We've seen people, you've seen Makuga do, You've Lost That Loving Feeling, going back to the Rocky match between Tom and JTE, he sang Marianne. Like, we've seen it before in the Schmoedown, so I didn't think it was that weird, especially since he went Flash, and then he went Sam Jones Jr. That was what his answer was, which was wrong, because the question was asking for the character, not for the actor, which I was fine with. Again, it was a personal thing. I get it. Jeff is a very passionate player, and that can happen. I just thought because it was clear that Harloff was like not accepting that answer, but again, I don't need to
Just the final answer. If I answer the second question, Jeff is winning the belt in New York. He's taking the ball away from Paul Ujama, or how he called it, your mama. I don't remember. Paul is a great competitor, but I think Jeff Snyder is enough to break anybody. He's gonna
anybody. He is. So what you're saying is he is Bane.
Is he though?
He's A game. He's the best right now.
All right. Well, hey, Paul. You know what? I don't know, Doug. You seem to disagree, so I'm gonna let you. What were your thoughts on this match first, and then you can go into Jeff versus Paul.
Listen, I'm so disappointed in this match. I think both competitors did a great job. It does suck. When it comes down to the decision, I never like a player getting involved regardless. Just shut your mouth and let the judges do what they're supposed to do. Literally, that's I hate it when people write on the board and show their board and stuff like that. It's like, okay, so you know the answer. Let's give you a round of applause. Do you want a cookie for knowing the answer? Just sit down, shut up, and let the judges do what they're supposed to do. It gets on my nerves. I understand that it's a character, but calm your character down. You're playing a game. Sorry. It's one thing that frustrates me out of all players that do it. Jeff does it the most, and it's brutal. I think playing 2 games back-to-back is brutal enough. It's never worked. The person that plays both games, I want to say, Frankie numbers get back to me. I think it's like 80 or 90% lose their second match. And it's just like, I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair. I don't think that's fair. You should have shot it for another day then. Yeah, shoot it for another day and then cut it in post. Have them wear the same gear, because Harloff, you went through it yourself, hosting an entire day and then playing a championship match. It's not easy. It's a lot of hard work. You go through a lot when you're playing a trophy match. I just don't think it was fair to Kalinowski. I'm not always on Mike's side because I like him as a person. I'm not a fan of his character sometimes. It kind of got under my skin what he did with Mara that one time, and that's what made me not kind of. I like him as a person. Character-wise, it gets under my skin sometimes. But to the question, Primetime versus Snyder, no, I got Primetime all day taking him the ringers. I know that's a lot of people are going to be like, but he's a new guy. I'm like, but did you see what he just did to Dan? I don't have Primetime. That's a lie.
You said it. You said it.
That is a lie. That is a lie.
He did say it. I think you can go back in the tape and track it. But you have Paul. Okay.
I have Paul. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. Malcolm, thoughts on the match? Thoughts on Jeff versus Paul?
Honestly, like I don't think Kalinowski's loss to Snyder was because he had to play 2 matches at once. Because I think it's just a case of like I think they had a quota of sort of what matches of the matches that they needed to get formed before New York. Is just a case of they're all there at that time. It's like, let's do it this way and let's do it. I think what threw Mike off was him jumping the gun on the Flash Gordon question. Because I think had he not jumped the gun and listen to the question, he would have got it. But I think that rattled him for the other few questions. Yeah. But on the Snyder thing, I don't mind it when players get involved, but only until after the judges have made the decision, because you don't just assume where the judges are going to award a point or not. But yeah. Because I mean, Mike was playing really good sort of up to there, so I think if he had sort of not messed himself up with that, I think he would have taken the next one and gotten them clear, because that probably was weighing on his mind, the fact that he stuffed up that question as well. So,
Yeah.
And as for Paul versus Snyder, up until now, Paul has not faced someone of the most crazy character that Snyder is. So, and we all know that live event Snyder can be very distracting. So it could be enough to throw Paul off his game. So as much as I hate to say this, I am slightly going Snyder on this.
How can you hate Jeff Snyder? He's one of 4 greats.
I mean,
Is he though?
Let me stop you right there. While I give my now continue. So yeah, I think I'm not sure if Mike having to play 2 matches did him in, because I think we've seen in the past Bateman has done it. Roca did it in the first spectacular. We've seen it before. I think it was really round 3 rattled him. I think that opening, I think the whole thing with that, I think that rattled him, really. Because I think it was, he listened to the question, I think he just misheard it, or he just...
I think he was just way too excited to answer.
He was too, I think, because I know how much he loves that movie, and Flash Gordon, I'm not sure how he feels about Ted, and I think he overthought the question. And he thought that they'd be looking for the harder answer, which, to be honest, the harder answer to that question is, who's the actor? Which is Sam Jones Jr. Like Flash Gordon, you could be like, oh, well, that's Flash Gordon, but I don't know who plays it. I think he just overthought that question. I think everything just kind of I think had he repeated the question, he would have been fine. And then I think that we've seen that time and time again in the Schmoedown, where you get rattled on the first question round 3 and your mind just isn't there for the last 2. Jeff versus Paul. I agree. I don't hate Jeff Snyder as much as people think. I just don't. His character is just becoming too much for me. I think Jeff is a great dude. I just think his character, which he's kind of doing it right if that's what he wants.
I don't think that's a character.
You don't think that is? All right. Well, Well, regardless, I think that Jeff's going to beat Paul. I think Paul is good. His match against Dan. Okay, Dan has shown time and time again to not be Superman in the Schmoedown. I don't think Paul is ready for live event Snyder. I don't think you could ever be ready for live event Snyder. And I think Jeff is also someone who I think, listen, say what you will about the guy. He is a part of one of the top 2 teams in Schmoedown history right now. The only one of 2 people, the other one being JT, to hold the belt for a whole year. Of all the quotes from that movie, I'm sorry. It's just I think Malcolm. I'm trying to go past the Ted thing. I think
yeah.
Well, I just want to make my point, and then you can. Yeah. I just think listen, what Paul has done for a rookie, it's really great. He beat Dan Merrill. I just don't think all the factors. I just don't think he's played anyone with head games, and Jeff is really great at head games. I don't think Paul's ready for that. Malcolm, what did you want to add on?
What I was about to say is, can we petition Harloff to make live event Snyder his new ring name?
No, because then that will lessen when we talk about live events. All right. Speaking of Harloff, however, that's what you call a segue, kids. We have Rob Burnett brings the nuke to Christian Harloff. Harloff looks at it, says he wants to adjust a couple of things, but he gives it the okay. So now, everybody, it's your favorite time on the Reactor Summit. It's tinfoil hat time. We all need to get tinfoil hats. I didn't think about that ahead. What is the nuke? What is it? What's in the nuke? What's in the nuke? Yeah, we really need to just create a whole. Oh my god. Is that from Ted 1 or 2?
Ted 2.
Fuck. Dude, oh my god. All right.
What
Malcolm, what do
say?
you think?
There's so much force.
What, Malcolm? What do you think is in the nuke? Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know what the nuke could be. It's
Great
clearly,
answer, Malcolm. I'm asking you to think.
I mean, it's yeah. I'm like, I can't think of anything which would be, which Robin might be will come up with that Harloff would be like, oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Maybe he's contracting Abe to go work on the Schmoedown or something. I don't know.
That's no. You know what, Malcolm? You bring up a great point, which is it's something that is going to definitely. You don't call something a nuke that's not going to blow things up, but it's also something that Harloff likes, which I think if Harloff likes it, this is going to be something that's going to piss off fans. Now, I don't know if the nuke means that all the round twos of the tournaments get flip-flopped around. So let's say right now, the winner of Riley versus Howard plays the winner of Preston versus Harris. I don't know if that's how we'll figure out when we get there. What if it all flips? And now this person in round two is playing this person, that person. Like, what if it just screws up the brackets altogether?
I don't think that will happen.
I don't think that will, again, I'm just trying to think crazy things that Harloff would sit there, like the Anarchy tournament. Harloff loved the Anarchy tournament, I bet. I think, I don't even know what the nuke can be. I don't know if he's going to literally blow up the Schmoedown at Spectacular. Like, is that what he's doing? You know what? That is what I think what's going to happen is at the Schmoedown Spectacular, in a final effort to give a middle finger to the people who left him in a closet, Robert Burnett is going to try to finally destroy the Schmoedown. And you know who's going to save the day? Tom Dagnino, Ben Bateman, and Dagnino. They will save it. They will get that nuke. They'll disarm it. Maybe Lil Bobby and the Juice will come in. We'll get a little crossover there. That is how I see this season ending. Doug, do not comment on my idea and try to boo it because you know it's great.
I love your idea. If we
I'm
can
looking
get
at Malcolm more booing my idea.
No, I
we can
I
get
see
a
the
little
group, but
Bobby
we
and the
need to get
Juice.
Wolf Forte to get a cameo in that scene as well.
Oh yeah,
Little Bobby
we can have Ken pretending to be Wolf Forte for it. I don't care. I just see how Matt's envisioning it. Doug, what do you think?
We have 3 out of the 4 horsemen, correct, in the tournament?
Wiley.
We have 3 of the 5.
3 of. Are we counting?
Merle's not in it. Merle's not in it, and Hannah's not in it, or Dagnino. Again, Old Man Roca. Does Dagnino not count, or does he?
Yeah, I don't understand
never
that
responded to
either.
me on Twitter to that image, and I'm real upset.
So what if the nuke is if they all get knocked out before the second round, the horseman's got to break up?
I don't know.
I think that would be a big-ass nuke, and a lot of people would be upset. I have no clue what it is. Just a tinfoil theory for you guys. A tinfoil hat theory. I think because there's so many ankle-ins that this is Roka's last season, so maybe they're just looking for a way to kind of
get him out,
disband the horsemen.
I know what it is.
Wait, now? No, going off of that, maybe Roka could join in. Maybe Roka Ironmans it at the end of Spectacular. And Burnett's like, I'm inevitability. And Roka's like, I am the outlaw. Bam! That's how it ends, actually. Updated. Boom!
I like that theory, boy.
I'm running with this. I will write script pages and send it to Harloff like my cutscene that he forgot about.
Matt's got fanfic going.
He's got that right. Abe, what do you think the nuke is?
Okay,
oh, baby.
So a nuke is an explosive device that derives its destructive force from nuclear reactions, either fission or a form combination of fission and fusion reactions. I'm pretty sure that is, because it has happened 2 times. That happened in 1945. Yes, where when the United States threw 2 bombs in Japanese cities, Yeah, so it's gonna happen a third time, I guess. And
Right in the Schmoedown.
I don't think the what's the name of it? The United Nations are gonna be happy with that. So we're gonna go into a really hard.
Did you have the question? Were you like, "What's the UN?"
Oh no, because I know it's named Spanish, but I read
You
it.
guys said in Spanish. We might have Spanish viewers.
Okay, la Organización Nacional de Naciones Unidas, la Organización Mundial de Naciones Unidas. So,
I'm pressing two for English.
así que voy a seguir hablando en español todo el programa si me preguntas por mis opiniones, Mati.
Wait, I thought Del Toro movies had subtitles.
Whoa, racist?
Labyrinth.
I'm sorry.
Pan's Labyrinth
Is that a cereal box?
Pan's Labyrinth. It's a movie with subtitles.
Oh, I've seen Labyrinth. David Bowie. He's huge. Let's move on.
Okay. Do you say David Bowie's dick is huge?
You seen Labyrinth, man?
Dude,
Bowie is real.
we don't have to have this conversation. Let's move on to the brackets. Malcolm. Please.
Bowie is a thing, man. Yeah, so the nuke is a crazy thing. It's just, you know what? Maybe that's what the nuke was invented for. It was to destroy this show, which, by the way, Burnett, we're doing it on our own. So, we're going to move on now to the brackets. So how it's going to work is we're going to all go through round one together. Everyone's going to give their thoughts on the matches and who they think is going to win, and then we're going to move on. The order how we're going to do it is we're going to go Doug, Malcolm, Abe, and then me to give our round twos to finals. I'll go through that again when we get to it, but let's start off, with round one. The first matchup is Mark Riley versus Stacey Howard. Doug, who do you have winning?
I got Mark Riley winning. I think Mark's hungry, and I think he's going to take it.
He should get a sandwich if he's hungry. Malcolm,
Maybe.
Who do you have winning?
I've also got Mark Riley winning.
All right. Abe, who do you have winning?
Matthew, I also have Mark Yodi Riley winning.
And I, of course, have Stacey Howard winning. Now, come on. As Han Solo once said. It's me. I have Riley winning. Matchup 2, we have... Why are you showing people's brackets, Abe? Matchup 2.
Spoilers.
Matchup 2, we have Whitney Seibel versus the kid, Brendan Meyer. Doug, who do you have winning?
I got the kid winning. I think the kid is going to spank. I think the kid's going to spank the booty. And, yeah, I can't speak right now. No, I think...
no, you spoke. You definitely spoke that phrase. The kid will spank the booty. Okay. We know what one of our first Take 3 T Public shirts is going to be. Malcolm, who do you have winning this match?
I have got Brendan winning as well.
All right. 2 kids spanking that booty. Abe?
I have Mr. Brandon Meyer.
Meyer.
I think he's
stuff like I know his first name. You know too much.
You know. I want to say this.
Okay.
I think we should comment on each one at least once. I think Brandon shown his match against the Scream Queens that he's here to play. He's showing the free for all, and now he's improving that lately against his match against Studio 2. So I think they got this. He got this.
Okay, I'm the sole person who's got Whitney. I think Whitney is a really good player. I just think his last 2 matches just haven't really gone his way, but I just feel like I don't know, I got a feeling, keep believing. All right, moving on. We have Lon Harris versus Paul Preston. Doug, who do you got winning?
I got Paul winning. I think Paul's hungry, and I think he wants a little bit of revenge on Lon.
Okay. Malcolm, who do you have winning?
I've got Lon Harris.
All right, Abe, who do you got? Who do you got winning?
Lon Harris.
Okay, I have the protein freak Paul Preston winning. All right.
We should
Ben
try
Bateman.
ASMR for this channel.
I'm sorry?
We should try ASMR for this channel.
Oh, ew. You know, I didn't know what that was for the longest time, and then my sister told me. I was like, Ew.
I mean, not people.
So
but
I think Paul is really good. I think he's shown it in his last couple of matches. And I think Lon not playing a while. I think it's gonna affect him. I think the professor is gonna get spanked in the booty. There's some weirdo freaks who's gonna find that and enjoy that. And you know what? Who are we to judge? You gave us a view, sir. Just make sure you give us a like. Moving on, we have Ben Bateman versus Liz Shannon Miller. Doug, who do you got winning?
I got Ben. I think he can shake Liz up a little bit. I don't think she's really played anybody, just like how you guys think that. Listen, just like you think Paul hasn't played anybody that can go super crazy.
Oh, it wasn't about that. It was more just, I think Ben Bateman is a very respectful man. I don't think he's going to shake up any women in the Schmoedown.
You know, listen.
I think we need to have I think after this is over, we need to have a discussion with Doug.
Doug, you're
I'm
great.
going in the witness protection agency. Hello, my name is
Oh my
Paul.
God, they're already blacking out his face.
Hello, my name is Paul.
I'm sorry,
no longer
Doug. Continue.
No, I just think Ben Bateman's gonna maybe ruffle her feathers a little bit much.
Yeah.
Play his old school games and kind of get her off her game.
That's a really interesting point about him bringing back the boss for that character for this. Could be effective for him. It could be super effective. Malcolm, who do you have winning?
I've got Ben Bateman as well.
Why did you start saying his full name and then you stopped? You were like, I got Ben Bateman?
Benji was a good dog.
Man, I'm such a shitty person. I'm sorry, guys. Abe, who do you have winning?
Said you right.
I think I wanted to put Liz. However, I think Ben will win.
Okay. I have Ben Bateman winning. I think Ben is going to take this loss against Mike, and I think he's gonna put full force into this tournament. All right, moving on to the next side of the bracket, we have Ethan Irwin versus Haley Fouch. Doug, who do you have winning?
I think Haley's good. I just don't think she's that good. I got Ethan.
All right, Malcolm, who do you got winning?
I've got Ethan as well.
All right, Abe, who do you got?
This is where I will differ with my companions. I think Haley will pull off the upset in New York. John Roca gave a good argument. When did Ethan lost his dog? In Collider Live, he said this. It was in New York, and I think Haley will take the victory in New York. Everybody's gonna be shocked, and these will start Haley's run.
So you think the guy who walks out to a song that belongs to heroes who protect New York City, his kryptonite is New York City.
Exactly.
That's fascinating. I have Irwin winning. I like Haley a lot. It's just like Cybo, even though Irwin hasn't played a ton recently, I have a feeling about Irwin. The next match we have is the Arizona live event, I believe is going to be this one. We have William Bibiani versus Chance Ellison. Doug, who do you got winning?
Even though it's Chance's home field, I think the Beast is on a roll right now. I think he's on a. I think he's kind of living off that high as Shazam right now. So, Thunderbolt's away. And
it was a great movie.
I got Thunderbolt McGee, the Beast, William Bibiani winning.
Malcolm's little head, like he was like, "No, Matt, that was a terrible joke. It's my favorite thing. I'm gonna make a gif of it after this is over." Malcolm, who do you have winning, the home field advantage or the British?
I've got Bibbs taking out Chance.
Malcolm was so confused. That was an American Revolution joke. I know they don't teach it to you guys at your schools, I realized afterwards.
I fought in the American Revolution.
You did? Did you do it against, like, alongside Viggo Mortensen and Orlando Bloom? No.
I kind of what's
What
his
about
name
Gibson?
in Assassin's Creed 3?
Oh, yeah,
by
that's right.
playing a
Video
fighting
games.
alongside
I don't
him.
know that. I don't know video games. If you said you fought against, like, with Mel Gibson against Jason Isaacs, I don't know what you're talking about. Patriot, great movie. Check it out. Abe,
Heath
who do
Ledger.
you, I keep pointing this way, even though on my computer you're this way. Abe, who do you have winning?
Matthew Kearns, Mark
Yes.
Slay, and Doug Cassell. Am I pronouncing it right? Yeah. You're all
Yeah?
pointing at me? Okay, so what was the match? Viviani, right?
Yep.
I didn't say who I am winning yet.
I was going to say something stupid, but I forgot. I think
We're
Viviani win.
pointing at you. It worked. Who do you have winning?
I think Viviani is going to win.
Okay, I also have Bibiani winning. All right, so now we have John Roca versus Rachel Silvestrini. Doug, who do you have winning? Stop pointing.
I think this is going to be the upset of the entire tournament. I think Rachel's going to take it.
Okay, Malcolm, who do you have winning?
I'm sorry, John, but I think Rachel's going to beat you.
Abe, who do you have winning?
The Outlaw, Young Roca will win.
Okay, I'm really torn on this one. I just have to go with what I put on my bracket, which is Roca, but I could see Rachel winning, particularly since there's always an upset, and I feel like this is the one.
Versus
I'm
Keith.
sorry.
And
I don't know. If Rachel wins, I'm not gonna be upset. I don't really care about the bracket. I never send these in anyway. So
Watch
yeah,
this
I have
be the
Roca
one he
winning
wins
right
in.
now. I just have that. My reason for choosing Roca is that whole. This might be his last season. I just feel like might drive him a little bit more to want to really make a name in this. And the final match of round two. I'm sorry, guys. The final matchup of round one is Mike Kalinowski versus Gene the Machine. Another rematch. Doug, who do you have winning?
I got Mike winning. Janine's one hell of a competitor. I just think the fuel from the Snyder match is going to fuel him a little bit further.
Fuel the fire. Malcolm, who do you have winning?
I've got Kalinowski wins too. He wants to beat Mikey 3 belts.
All right, Abe, who do you have winning?
this is where I differ with my companions. I think Janine will win, and I'm going to tell you why right now. I think we've seen a different Janine this season. I think she has improved in every single match she has played, and I think this is the moment where she will shine and will take the belt out of. Well, it will stop Mikey Trubos from happening this year.
Okay. I have Mike winning. I think after that match against Snyder, I think he's going to really focus in on this match. I think, in fact, he's been prepping for the Shirewolves match with Chance. I think that's been helping him too, and so I just feel like he has a lot of momentum to carry him through. Even though I think Janine is amazing, I agree with you, Abe. She has really, really, really outdone herself this season. So now that we're done with round one, we're going to move on to the order I said before is the same order I've been doing. So it's going to start with Doug, then Malcolm, then Abe. So Doug, please give us your round twos to your semis to your finals, and ultimately who you have winning.
All right.
Or actually, don't do that. Yeah, I don't know. Just give us all your matchups.
Okay, you want me to give you all the matchups? Okay. So out of the Mark Riley and the Brandon Myers, I got Brandon winning. I think Brandon's going to be something that people aren't going to be fully ready for. I think they're going to still underestimate him. Then over to Preston and Ben. I got Ben winning. I don't think, as good as Lon is, I don't think he's as good as Ben. I don't think Paul has really played anybody to Ben's caliber yet. And I think Ben's going to push him. Bibbs versus Irwin. I got Bibbs winning. That's just really a coin toss, but I really think Bibbs maybe pull it out. It's going to be a tight game, though. Rachel versus Mike. As I said, I think Mike's going to be hungry. So then we go to Brandon Myers versus Ben Bateman. Again, I think people are going to underestimate the kid. I think Ben's going to sleep on him. And I think Brendan's going to pull it out. Bibbs versus Mike. I think Mike's still a little hungry. And then I got it down to Brandon versus Mike. And again, I think Mike's going to underestimate the kid, and the kid's going to pull it out. I think the kid's going to take it the whole tournament.
All right, sounds good. Malcolm, what are the rest of your matches? I don't know how to phrase this. What's the rest of your bracket look like?
But yeah, I've got Mark winning against Brendan. Then I've got Lon beating Bateman. I've got Bibbs beating Ethan. And I've got Kalinowski beating Rachel. And then for the semis, I've got Lon Harris beating Mark Riley. And I've got Kalinowski beating Bibbs. And then I've got Kalinowski pulling off the victory.
All right. Abe, all right.
Matthew.
Abe.
So, Matthew.
Yes.
Wait, give me time. Okay, so for the left side of the bracket, I have Riley defeating the kid. Why? Because Mark Riley is good. Then I have Bateman beating Long Harris for the second time in his career. This is going to be the chapter number 2 in their, third if we count the final anarchy, but I think Bateman will win there. Fauci and Viviani, I think Bibbs will put up the win. And Roca versus Janine, I say Janine was playing great, but I think John Roca, as you see in my bracket, will make a run. Then Riley will win and get to the finals for the second year in a row in a tournament or any kind of tournament. His third final in the Ultimate Schmoedown, if you think about it. And then Viviani versus Roca. I think Roca will win and have that 2-1 record against Viviani. And we will get Riley versus Roca number 5 if you come the Denmark match. So, and I think John Roca will put off and win the singles belt out spectacular.
Okay. All right. So now we have my bracket. So in Riley versus Seibold, I have Riley winning. In Preston versus Bateman, I have I have Bateman winning. I think Preston's good. I forget who said it earlier, but I think Paul hasn't played a Bateman type competitor yet. And so I think coming up against someone like that, I don't think Paul's going to be able to beat him. On the other side of my bracket, Irwin versus Bibiani, I have Irwin winning. Then Roca versus Kalinowski, I actually have Kalinowski winning. I think Mike, those head games can get to Roca, and I think that can propel him as well as studying. Then Riley versus Bateman, matchup of teammates, I have Riley winning. I think Riley has quietly been studying a lot as someone who is a patron of his. I know a lot of nights Discord or he does streams now where the fans will ask him questions and help him study. I think he's really been putting in a lot of focus, even though he's not very upfront about it. Like he's not going to make a lot of tweets and everything about it, but I think he's really been studying for us. And that's never against Bateman. I just think Mark has the experience on his side, and I think that can propel him. Then I have Irwin versus Kalinowski. I have Kalinowski winning that. And then my finals, I got Riley versus Kalinowski. I got my boy Mark Riley winning it. I think Riley is someone who just is a very quiet competitor with how good he is. And I think this singles tournament he hasn't been in a singles tournament since 2016. And I think this is going to be his reemergence in singles for everyone. I think he's going to take those losses to Snyder and Guy this season, and it's gonna bring him up. And I think he's gonna prove why he's the best. So those are our brackets, and that did not take as long as I thought it was going to.
Let's just shut it out for 5 minutes. What's everybody's favorite hot dog flavor?
Say hot dog flavor?
Flavors?
Oh, I have to talk about something.
He said hot dog flavors.
I mean, hey guys, 5 minutes to push it to an hour. You know what? You know what time it is, kids? It's time for 6 degrees of the Schmoedown. No. Oh, God,
Oh
no.
God!
Oh, God,
Man.
let's not do this.
They worked so well last time.
Hey, it worked amazing. You just shut up, okay?
Flavors.
God, I thought that would take longer.
We're pretty efficient.
Predictions for next week.
What?
Well, we already did.
Really?
For
That's
New
our
York.
entire brackets of the predictions for next week.
Prediction for New York.
Okay, you know what? To talk about for 5 more minutes to get us to an hour, because we like when these episodes are an hour, I'm going to go around. What is everyone's favorite match of the season so far been? Malcolm, I'm going to start with you. Your favorite match could be singles, teams, whatever. Just make sure you don't spoil matches that some people haven't seen yet.
Rachel versus Mike at the Throwdown is still my favourite match.
Why? Give us a little log line. We want to get over there.
Because it was just showed two titans of the inner geekdom putting on a great match.
All right, Doug, favorite match of the season so far?
All right. Mike versus Smets. I think that match was ridiculously good, and if that's not, anybody's expectation of what an intergeekdom match should be, I don't know what you're looking for, because it was really such a tight game up until when he got into his way a little bit. It's just really one of my favorite matches to watch. Yeah.
Okay. Abe, talk really slow about what your favorite match of the season so far has been.
And explain hot dog flavors.
ASMR. Well, there are beef hot dogs, then there's chicken ones.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Now that you say it, yeah, you're right.
No. But I have to agree with Malcolm. I think no match has sent me more like tight, if that sounds right. Then Rachel versus Kalinowski was number 2. Yeah, number 2.
Yeah.
I was just impressed with what I was seeing, like seeing Mike coming back and almost getting the belt once he was down like for 3 points, I believe he was at one point. And it was because in Inner Geekdom, 3 points, it's a lot of points. Yeah. Especially when you have someone like Rachel, and just seeing that going to the end and seeing Rachel win that belt that she wanted so much for a while. It was a great moment, and now she's retired, and I cannot spoil next match, but it was a great match, and I think it's one of the. I will find it hard to see another match that I love more than that one this year. So
that's really amazing, because that was so early on. That was January, if I'm not wrong.
No, that was March or February.
March. No, that was.
I think it was about February.
It was.
It was the.
Because you're talking about the Throwdown. It was live, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
the
live
first
event.
live stream match.
I think it was February or March. It was one of the two.
Regardless, it was early on, so I think that's really, that's awesome that for you guys to have your favorite matches be so early. My favorite match is no one's favorite match, because this is the biggest hot take in the world. My favorite match so far has been Bateman versus Guy. Look, this is if you guys have been following me for so long, I don't really watch the Schmoedown for trivia anymore. I watch it for the storylines. I watch it for the personalities. As someone who has been a fan of Ben and Drew since they first entered the Schmoedown, to see their storyline come to a head in this match, like everything that happened in this match. First thing, we get just the walkouts, and then we get Dagnino being denied by Booker T. But then the family and Burnett, they get to come in. We get the shit talk between them in the ring. And then we get Roxy coming in and doing her thing, and sort of Booker being taken back by it. And then we get Dagnino coming out with Riley and with Roca and with Merle, and them coming in, and we get the Bateman gets Spinner's Choice, and he spins away from Spinner's Choice to land on it again. And then we get that moment at the end with the chair, and it's just like, what is happening? Like, it's just a match that's just been like, oh my. Like, just to have a storyline just pan out and to be this good for me. And I get it, guys. I get it. The trivia wasn't that good. If that is the thing that's preventing you from liking this match, that's fine. I'm not going to put that past you, but for me, the story stuff was just so good. And also, let's just be honest, Bateman was on game. It wasn't like it was two people who don't know what they're doing. Like, Bateman was on game. Guy just wasn't. Bateman was, and it was fantastic, and it's just it just has me so excited for what we could still see happening with that storyline in this season. It really is. Now everyone's going to be like, nope, you don't know nothing but the Schmoedown. And you might be right. But we have now hit over an hour, which means we can finally sign off. So go around the board, tell everyone who you are and where the good people can find you. Doug, you old new faithful, where can the good people find you?
Find me over here on Take 3. I'm usually at one point or another joining Malcolm on Rankum. It seems like I've become a new permanent face on that show at times. Also, keep your eyes peeled for hopefully a new show coming to Take 3, as well as I commissioned 2 leagues over at the Bait League shows, and I'm all over the movie trivia fan leagues.
All right, Malcolm.
You can find me on Take 3 hosting Rankum every Sunday night. You can find me hosting Formula Random on Formula Trivia every Tuesday. You can find me hosting late TV fights. I can't remember how that works. And also, you can find me doing the bracket show, which is still technically doesn't really have a name, but I've called it Bracketeers because why not? If you haven't voted already, vote. The link is somewhere on the Take 3 Facebook page. So it's there. It's a lot of fun. You can vote on. Yeah, we'll find out who will win next week sometime.
I like Malcolm as just like my fans are just on the internet somewhere. Look for them. Just look for them.
If you look, they'll find.
Mr. Yawning.
Matt,
Where can the
Abraham F25, where I post something stupid stuff. You can follow me on Instagram at Abraham Flores 25, where I have not posted food in a while because I don't have.
I'm really angry.
Yeah, I need to. I've been thinking about doing cinnamon rolls, but I'm so fucking tired of them. They're so good.
My brother made them last week. They were amazing.
Yeah, you can follow me, and that's it. I don't do much.
You didn't say the Facebook thing. Now people are gonna.
Please do not add me on Facebook if you do not know me. I don't care about your life. You shouldn't care about my life either.
I'm friends with Abe on Facebook. He doesn't post that interesting stuff on Facebook. And believe me,
I post it in Spanish. You won't be able to read it. You won't understand it.
Actually, you can because Facebook allows you to translate. So I see when you shit talking me on your personal page, buddy. I see it.
The only thing I post is my location when I go to a movie theater. That's the only thing I post.
Seriously, guys, you can follow me at Kearns_Matthew on Twitter, MattMoose611 on YouTube and WordPress. Right here as host of Second Look. New episodes air first Monday of every month, sometimes if I can get them out. New episode is in the works. You can also find me hosting the show sometimes when the normal host, Kristen Smith, is unavailable. And please don't add me on Facebook if I don't know you. Thank you for watching and supporting me on this, but like, I don't know you. I don't need to see pictures of you and your dog, and you don't need to see what movies I'm watching or how I'm bored. You don't need to see it. Follow me on Twitter for that. So that is all we have to say. Follow Take 3 on Twitter at Take 3 Video. Subscribe to us on Facebook. Please like and share this video around. Word of mouth helps. If you enjoy all of our craziness, please consider joining the Take 3 Facebook group where we continue to act crazy like this. That's pretty much it. For Malcolm, for Doug, for Abe, and for myself, this has been Take 3's Reactor Summit, and we will see you all next week. The cult is not dead. Don't let it die.